He didn't have a quarterback coach or a guru or anybody else, the agency or whatever doing it. He scripted it himself. Chris Sims, you were already high on Kellen Mond. Am I overblowing that? Am I overstating that? Is that something that's kind of telling when it comes to his quote-unquote football character?
Well, I think it shows a little something about that. One, I think between organizing the workout and him being in control of that, two, the way he handles himself during the workout, and then the way he handled himself, in the press conferences before and after. I mean, I think the one thing you're going to see from the guy, or at least you'll be able to take from the intangible department, is like, wait, this guy likes football a lot. And he's a professional, and he's got a workman's-like attitude, and everybody wants that at the quarterback position. And listen, you're no expert, whatever you want to say. You don't need to be an expert to look at some of those throws. Those throws were the real deal. I mean, running to his left, throwing a post back across the field, it looked like it was about 60 yards in the air. He has an elite arm. He does. I think he's a first-round talent. It doesn't sound like he's going to go in the first round. Maybe he gets one of those teams to trade up early in the second to grab him late in the first. But I think realistically, he's going to be looked at as that early first-round type of draft pick. But he is pro-ready, and his arm is elite, guys. That's the one thing I'll stand by for sure.
You know what, Chris? I'm looking at Pro Football Focus right now, and I'm looking at some of the quarterbacks who are ahead of him. And I always ask you about Kellen Mond. I'm just intrigued by what people see and why they see quarterbacks differently. They've got Kyle Trask rated ahead of him. They've got Davis Mills from Stanford rated ahead of him. And they also have Jamie Newman rated ahead of him. What is it about Kellen Mond that you think that the big thing, if there's one big thing people are missing about him, what is that one thing that they're missing?
Well, that he, the kind of what I said, he's NFL ready, was in an NFL type of offenses where you got to see him go through reads and progressions and all that. And what I really think they're missing is just his pure arm talent. That's what I would tell you. I mean, it's an explosive arm, Michael Holley. It's an arm that, wait, I don't need to step and I can throw the ball 55 yards on the line. Wait, I'm on my back foot and there's a post route open 40 yards down the middle. No problem. I'll hit it falling away, going backwards. That's what I look at, along with elite accuracy to go along with that, and not a lot of great talent around him. When you go back and watch the Alabama and Florida game, the whole game he's under pressure with people all around him, and nobody's open and more than an inch the whole game. And he just throws strike after strike after strike. So that's what they're missing. Again, listen, I respect PFF and all that, but of course it's numbers based a lot of times, and I don't know all their formulas for everything that way. I don't know. One year they had Will Grier as the second-rated quarterback coming out in the NFL draft. He wouldn't have been my 22nd rated quarterback. So not always going to see eye to eye with the analytics companies all the time.
But the best part, he'll go in the second round, third round, wherever he goes, and he won't have the first round tag or the first round pressure. Obviously, I'm sure he welcomed the first round money, but he'll end up in a good situation. And you'll end up right in the long run. The thing that I love about the draft, I love it and I hate about the draft, is we act like it's one round. Because even when we're talking about what teams should do with their first round pick, it's like that ain't the end of the draft. So if they don't take an offensive lineman, with the fifth pick and go wide receiver, doesn't mean they can't address offensive line later in the draft, for example. That said,
no doubt.
Let's go to number three. Because last time we talked to you, the draft order looked a lot different. Are you still convinced that the pick at 3 for San Francisco is Mac Jones?
I would be shocked if it's not. Again, I don't know. I don't know this. This is not like, Kyle Shanahan calls me and is like, hey, we're making a trade. And just so you know, it's Mac Jones. See you later. Bye. That
would be great, though.
I don't.
That would be great.
That would be great. Damn, that would be awesome if I had that kind of inside info.
He just texts you those things. He just texts you that.
I wish.
That's what you're saying. He doesn't call you.
I feel bad for my friend that he's got to answer everything I say. Just because I say it and talk about his team, everybody thinks that, I must have some inside knowledge. Listen, here's my inside knowledge and why I think it's Mac Jones. Yeah, he's my friend. I've talked about quarterbacks with him for the last 20 years of my life. I talk about football with him for the last 20 years of my life. I feel like I know the man, Kyle Shanahan, and what he likes at the quarterback position.
So you know his type.
So that's why I say
It's like you're hooking him up with a woman. It's like you're hooking him up on a date.
I know
you know his type.
Exactly right. And
Yeah.
his history, again, not that it's everything here, but hey, Jimmy Garoppolo. You go to Matt Ryan, of course, Matt Schaub, Kirk Cousins. Those are all guys that are like Mac Jones, except I would say, of course, that he's more talented than any of those guys coming out. It's close with Matt Ryan. I think he's very similar in his play style and what you can expect out of him as far as a pro. It's never going to wow you guys. These type of workouts right here, you're not going to go, oh my gosh, look at this physical specimen. What a laser for an arm. But you're going to sit there and go, oh, wow, that's a really good throw. Oh, wow. Look at his feet there. He's got some quick feet to adjust and readjust and make the appropriate throw. Oh, wow. He could throw every ball in every which way. He's got every club in the bag, the driver, the pitching wedge, the 5-iron, whatever. He can do that. So you might not sit there and go, oh, it's the greatest workout I've ever seen. But all those things we talk about, you put it together with the play of quarterback and what you see on film, and then you go, no, that's where he has a chance to be great. And I think that's what my buddy Kyle Shanahan sees in this guy, a guy that can totally utilize his offense in all ways and really take advantage of all that's there to be had.
All right, let me ask you this. Brother Sims. I'm just wondering, would you be tempted to do this? Let's say Trevor Lawrence goes 1, like everybody expects. Zach Wilson goes 2. A lot of people expect, not everybody, but a lot of people expect that. So you're sitting there, you're San Francisco at 3. You have your choice of the remaining 3 quarterbacks, let's say, that people have projected in the top 15, top 20. Or you can get the best non-quarterback who may be rated higher than the guy that you pick. For example, Kyle Pitts may be rated higher than Mac Jones, but Mac Jones is a quarterback. Would you be tempted to take the best non-quarterback on the board, or is that just too crazy in a league like this where the importance on a quarterback is so emphasized?
No, it's not crazy. I'm from the school of build your team. That's the most important thing. We all want a great quarterback and a guy that can carry the team and do all those things, but we've seen a lot of teams go really far in the playoffs, get to the Super Bowl with quarterbacks that are just good, not great. Jimmy Garoppolo a few years ago, 2 years ago. Yeah, he's not a top 10 quarterback, but the team was real good. And you go, okay, they're up by 10 with 6 minutes left. Watch out. So I always favor that. I think, though, the answer to that, though, is, of course there's more importance to the position of quarterback. So if things are even between player A and player B, and one's the quarterback, I do think the quarterback gets favored. But I think more importantly, the big question there, too, is, all right, you're talking about the quarterback and now the best overall player on the board. Do you have a need for that best overall player in that position? Or are we just going to take that guy and now have 3 great defensive ends or, 3 great tight ends? I don't know. That, to me, is not the right approach. So it's about balancing what the need is from your football team along with your board. And that's where, to me, the teams that really kill it in the draft usually have a great feel for that altogether.
So regardless of position, is Kyle Pitts your best player in the draft? And if it's not Kyle Pitts, then who is?
Oh, yeah, Pitts is up there. I think I haven't gotten through the whole draft yet, right? I think Pitts is up there. The 2 wide receivers are up there. Caleb Farley is up there. I haven't watched the D tackles yet, so I got to get to that part. And I haven't watched Micah Parsons in the middle linebackers. I would say it's in that group right there for the best players in this draft. I know and listen, I think Jalen Phillips, the pass rusher from Miami, is in that class. I think he's special.
Oh, yeah?
He's a top 10 pick. So I would put all those guys, and I'm sorry, I haven't gotten through all of it yet to give you the honest answer
that's okay.
there. But I think there's a few guys in the running for that title, for sure. Yeah.
I like that because I'm glad you mentioned I'm glad you mentioned Phillips. I saw your rankings came out, and you have Phillips number 1. You just said he's special. Just drill a little bit deeper there. What stands out to you about him?
Right. Well, I think the first thing is he's just the best pure pass rusher in the draft. When you just talk about a guy who can get on the edge, right, got an explosive first step, bend around the corner like you see the really good pass rushers of all time. They have that ability to drop that shoulder, be low, and still have a guy that's kind of pressed it on them that's 315 pounds and they can still go through it, with no problem. So I see all of that. But then I see physical dominance too. I mean, a guy where like in the run game, he hits the offensive tackle before the offensive tackle can hit him. And then he controls him and bosses him around and then throws him off like he's a rag doll. Tight ends, doesn't even play with him.
Edge guy.
Just get...
You said an edge guy
he
actually
does it
sets
all.
the edge.
Edge guy, natural pass rusher, and then up there with guys like Kwity Paye and Jason Oweh as far as just, Kwity Paye and Jason Oweh as their strength, their ability to disengage from run blockers and all of that. I mean, I really like Paye and Oweh a lot, but I think Phillips just separates himself with his pure pass rush ability and his size of the human he is. And then, of course, we saw the workout, and that confirms everything you see on film.
Wait a second. When you started doing honorable mentions, unless I just missed them, are you getting soft on us, Chris Sims? You getting soft?
No, I mean, usually we have a list, and that's it. But somebody at NBC must have felt in a nice mood to throw out honorable mentions on there. I don't know. These are guys, though, that I like on the edge. I just don't think they're in the class of those top
who I really love?
Guys.
You know who I really love? Is Peyton Turner. Peyton Turner.
I hear
the versatility.
Sure.
Man, like he's gonna make somebody real happy. Where you see him going, like 3rd, 4th round, maybe? Like, I mean, you talk about 3, 4 in, you talk about D tackler.
Right.
Higher than that?
I would say when you're 6'6", 270, and you can run the way he can, and he's got an explosive first step. There's just too many things to like there. I would think he's someone that goes in those top 64 picks. He's strong, all that. Only thing he's got negative against him, Michael Smith, is just, he's a little stiff and upright as a player. That's where he misses out on being that top tier guy. He can be on the ground sometimes a little too much, where I just go, man, you're too big and strong to be on the ground. And in the scouting community, hey, being on the ground is not a good thing. Because I'm supposed to be in the C gap. Now I'm on the ground in the B gap, and the guy that was supposed to be controlling the B gap, he's on the ground now because he's tripped over me, and I broke his ankle because I fell on it. So those are the things you got to look at. And again, he's a really good player. They just had a few negatives to not put him in that top 5.
My last thing for you, man, is how much fun are you having just devouring this tape? I mean, you got to be, your process, I know what your process is, but you got to just be loving and looking forward to it, breaking it down. I don't know if you have your kids around, they kind of pop in and check you out. If you call up Big Phil and talk to him during the process, you must be having a blast.
Oh, I am, and you kind of hit it right. I got a spot down in the basement. It's where I watch my film. I got the computer, the PC, a few screens, and it's where my son plays Fortnite. So he comes to check out, hey, Dad, how much longer are you going to be on here? And, who you watching? And he'll sit there and watch for me for a few minutes. And then an hour later, I get the other part of what you're talking about, where I get my dad who calls, hey, Christopher, what are you doing? I'm watching film, Dad. That's what I got to do. I got to talk about these guys. I was just watching this wide receiver. Oh, he's really good. And then I gotta go back and get off topic and talk about guys that he's watched now, and we got to get on it. So it's a great time of the year. It's all football. It's a different year because there's no combine and the pro days and all of that, but always fun. This is what I
Everybody
do.
running 4-4.
Hey, Mike,
Yeah.
I bet you're not
That's your
surprised.
dad, but that's a hell of an impression.
I was just going to say,
so good. I mean,
I bet you're not
his dad.
surprised. He does a great Phil Sims. That's a great Phil Sims.
Right.
there.
Objectively. It's obviously you should, but I mean, it's really, really good. Chris, we appreciate it, man. Always a pleasure. Thanks for kicking it with us. Yeah. Right. A lot of practice over the years. Enjoy your weekend, man. We know it's your Friday.
You're the man.
Take care.
Peace out.
There it
Be
is.
good.
Be good.